All day today, News 2 is bringing you ghost stories in haunted Tennessee. The legend of the Bell Witch dates back to 1817 at a farm in Adams, Tennessee. News 2's Stassi Olmos spoke with a fifth-generation grandson of John Bell. This is what he has to say about the paranormal activity.
Since I was born into the family, we've had odd things happen since I was little.
Robert Bell is a fifth-generation grandson of John Bell, a man legend says was haunted and killed by the Bell Witch in 1820.
My first encounter with my grandmother lived 4 doors down from us, and she lived by herself and would take a nap every afternoon, and she was awakened by a crash and scared her so bad she called up to the house, and I went down with my dad. I was 7 years old.
Bell says he remembers dishes were all over the floor.
There's a butler's pantry in between the dining room and the kitchen, and it's built into the wall with latching cabinets, and all the cabinet doors were open, and every bit of her china had come out of that cabinet, crashed in the kitchen floor, and that's what woke her up. And the odd thing about it was not one piece was broken.
Historians say the Bell Witch is the spirit of an old neighbor, Kate Batts, who sought revenge on John Bell for cheating her in a land purchase.
Dad said, well, it must have been old Kate. Grandma said, well, I guess it was. And that was my first introduction to knowing I was in a family that had a spirit attached to it.
Bell now lives in the house John did, but he believes a Bible dated 1820 is what really held the Bell Witch spirit inside the home.
And that was the year John was killed, in December 1820. It was in the house. And so that's what I immediately made a connection to the Bible, to what was happening in the house. And my sister said she'd love to have that Bible. And I said, yeah, you need to have that. And so she took it, and since I've lived there, nothing has happened.
But when he asked to look at it a few years later,
my sister had no recollection of ever seeing it, talking about it. It was really odd because my sister's not like that. She doesn't miss details. And so the Bible is gone, but thankfully it's not in my house.
If you don't believe him, you should know those who deny the Bell Witch exists often find she takes it as a challenge.
Within the next week, my wife got 150 tick bites. My daughter got MRSA. A big tree fell over the creek, the road going down to the river where I kayak. My refrigerator went out, and of course everybody in Adams is going, Rick, that's what you get for saying you don't believe in the Bell Witch.
Rick Gregory is part of the community team that hosts a play every Halloween. They say even during the show, paranormal things happen.
A dog called Caesar, that's the dog in the story, but he was a Rottweiler mix, and he just showed up and got on stage and was the sweetest dog unless you tried to move him. And then he turned on you. And so they just started working around him. He just became part of the play. And after the play was over, he disappeared, and nobody knows where he came from, where he went.
Perhaps that's one of the spirit's spookiest traits, her said ability to shapeshift.
The spirit could talk. It could let you touch it if it wanted you to touch it. It could touch you. It could go overseas and come back. It could tell past, present, future. And then it wound up killing John Bell. It's not like anything else that's ever happened, actually.
Reporting in Adams, Stassi Olmos, News 2.
Just couldn't be coincidences, right? All right, this next one. The old Tennessee State Prison has been closed for more than 2 decades, but it's long been known as another one of the most haunted places in Tennessee. On News 2 at 5, Nicole Smith takes us inside the prison and lets us hear from people who have walked behind its walls.